Ever feel overwhelmed by life's chaos? Discover how an ancient Roman emperor found peace amidst war and plague. This book unveils Marcus Aurelius's timeless Stoic wisdom, offering a practical guide to resilience, clarity, and purpose. Learn Stoicism lessons to focus on what matters, embrace challenges calmly, and live with intention. Don't miss out on the inner strength and calm that have guided great leaders for centuries. Your journey to a more fulfilled, balanced existence starts here. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Origins. In the bustling heart of ancient Rome, a man burdened with the weight of an empire found solace in philosophy. This wasn't just any man, but Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who would become known as the Philosopher King. As he penned his private thoughts by lamplight, little did he know that his words would echo through millennia, offering guidance and wisdom to countless generations. The journey into Stoicism begins here, with the understanding that this ancient philosophy is not merely a relic of the past, but a living, breathing approach to life that holds immense relevance in our modern world. As we embark on this exploration of Stoic wisdom through the lens of Marcus Aurelius, we open ourselves to a transformative experience that promises to reshape our perspective on life's challenges and triumphs alike. Stoicism, at its core, is a practical philosophy. It's not about abstract theories or complex metaphysics, but about living a life of virtue, resilience, and inner peace. The Stoics believe that by aligning our actions with reason and nature, we could achieve true happiness and fulfillment. This idea, revolutionary in its time, continues to offer profound insights into how we can navigate the complexities of our modern lives. As you begin this journey, you'll find that the principles of Stoicism are surprisingly accessible. In fact, by the time you finish this book, you should be able to grasp the fundamental concepts of Stoic philosophy and recognize how they apply to your daily life. You'll start to see the world through a Stoic lens, understanding how Marcus Aurelius's teachings can help you face personal challenges with greater equanimity and wisdom. But this is just the beginning. The true power of Stoicism reveals itself over time as you continue to practice and internalize its principles. With consistent application, you'll develop a resilience that allows you to face life's ups and downs with clarity and composure. Decision-making becomes clearer as you learn to focus on what's truly within your control. Your life will gradually become more balanced and purposeful, guided by timeless principles rather than fleeting emotions or external pressures. Perhaps most importantly, as you delve deeper into Stoic practice, you'll find yourself achieving a greater sense of inner peace and emotional stability. The constant turmoil of anxiety and stress that plagues so many in our fast-paced world begins to subside, replaced by a calm confidence in your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. To embark on this transformative journey, we must first understand the roots of Stoicism and the unique perspective that Marcus Aurelius brings to this ancient philosophy. Our exploration begins in the bustling agora of ancient Athens, where a merchant named Zeno of Citium, having lost everything in a shipwreck, found himself drawn to philosophy. It was here, around 300 BCE, that Stoicism was born. Zeno's teachings quickly gained followers, and Stoicism spread throughout the ancient world. At its heart were core principles that would shape the lives of countless individuals across centuries. The Stoics believed that virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control was the highest good, the key to living a fulfilling life. They taught that true happiness comes not from external circumstances, but from our own thoughts and actions. Another fundamental tenet of Stoicism is the idea of living in accordance with nature. This doesn't mean a return to primitive living, but rather aligning ourselves with the rational order of the universe. The Stoics believe that by understanding our place in the grand scheme of things and accepting what is beyond our control, we could find true freedom and peace of mind. These ideas would find their most eloquent expression centuries later in the writings of a Roman emperor named Marcus Aurelius. Born in 121 CE, Marcus was groomed from a young age for leadership. He was educated by some of the finest tutors in Rome, including Stoic philosophers who instilled in him a love for wisdom and virtue. Despite his privileged upbringing, or perhaps because of it, Marcus embraced Stoicism wholeheartedly. He saw in its teachings a guide for navigating the immense responsibilities that came with ruling an empire. As he rose to become emperor in 161 CE, Marcus faced numerous challenges, from wars on the frontiers to a devastating plague that swept through the empire. Through it all, he turned to Stoic principles for guidance and strength. What makes Marcus Aurelius unique is the combination of his role as emperor and his dedication to philosophy. Here was a man who held absolute power over millions, yet constantly reminded himself of his own mortality and the transient nature of worldly success. His personal writings, later compiled as Meditations, offer us a rare glimpse into the mind of a ruler striving to live by philosophical ideals in the face of immense pressure and responsibility. Marcus's approach to leadership was deeply influenced by Stoicism. He believed that power came with a duty to serve others and to act with justice and wisdom. In his governance, we see the practical application of Stoic principles, a focus on duty, rationality, and ethical decision-making. Even in times of war, Marcus sought to act with clemency and restraint, always striving to embody the Stoic virtues. But Marcus Aurelius's impact extends far beyond his role as emperor. His personal reflections, never intended for publication, have become one of the most influential works of Stoic philosophy. In Meditations, we find not lofty theorizing, but practical advice for daily living. Marcus writes about dealing with difficult people, facing adversity, and maintaining inner peace amidst chaos, challenges that resonate just as strongly today as they did 2 millennia ago. The enduring relevance of Stoic wisdom is perhaps its most remarkable feature. In a world that seems to change at an ever-accelerating pace, the teachings of Marcus Aurelius offer a timeless anchor. The challenges we face today, stress, anxiety, the search for meaning and purpose, are not so different from those faced by the ancients. Stoicism provides a framework for addressing these universal human experiences. Consider how Stoic principles apply to modern life. The Stoic emphasis on focusing on what's within our control is a powerful antidote to the anxiety that comes from information overload and constant connectivity. The practice of negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios to appreciate what we have, can help combat the perpetual dissatisfaction fostered by consumer culture and social media comparisons. Moreover, Stoicism's emphasis on virtue and character development offers a compelling alternative to the often shallow metrics of success promoted by society. In a world that often equates happiness with material wealth or social status, Stoicism reminds us that true fulfillment comes from living according to our values and contributing to the greater good. This book aims to bridge the gap between ancient wisdom and modern living. As we explore the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, we'll uncover guiding principles for personal growth that are as relevant today as they were in ancient Rome. Each chapter will delve into a key aspect of Stoic philosophy, offering practical ways to apply these concepts in your daily life. As you progress through this book, you'll be invited to engage with Stoic practices and reflections. These aren't mere intellectual exercises, but tools for transforming your perspective and approach to life. The goal is not to turn you into a perfect Stoic sage. Even Marcus Aurelius acknowledged his own ongoing struggles and imperfections. Rather, it's to provide you with a philosophical toolkit for navigating life's challenges with greater resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. Remember, Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions or adopting a cold, detached view of the world. It's about cultivating a rich inner life, developing strength of character, and finding joy in living virtuously. As we explore concepts like focusing on what we can control, embracing our mortality, and aligning our actions with our values, you'll discover a philosophy that is both profoundly simple and deeply transformative. In the chapters that follow, we'll delve deeper into specific Stoic principles and practices. We'll explore how to cultivate inner calm in the face of external chaos, how to approach challenges as opportunities for growth, and how to find purpose and meaning in our daily actions. Through it all, the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius will be our guide, offering insights that bridge the centuries and speak directly to our modern condition. As we conclude this introductory chapter, it's worth reflecting on a quote from Marcus Aurelius himself. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound statement encapsulates much of what Stoicism offers, a shift in perspective that empowers us to face life's challenges with courage and equanimity. The journey ahead promises to be both challenging and rewarding. As we turn the page to the next chapter, we'll begin to explore the Stoic concept of control, a fundamental principle that has the power to revolutionize how we approach every aspect of our lives. Are you ready to discover the transformative power of focusing on what truly lies within your control? Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2: Control. Imagine standing at the helm of a ship, navigating through turbulent waters. The wind howls, waves crash against the hull, and dark clouds loom on the horizon. In this moment, what truly lies within your power? This question lies at the heart of one of Stoicism's most profound teachings, a principle that Marcus Aurelius returned to time and again in his reflections. As we embark on this chapter, we'll explore a concept that has the potential to revolutionize how you approach every aspect of your life. It's a principle so fundamental, yet so often overlooked, that mastering it can lead to a profound shift in your daily experience. But what exactly is this elusive concept of control that the Stoics, and Marcus Aurelius in particular, placed such emphasis on? At first glance, the idea of control might seem straightforward. We all have things we can influence and things we can't, right? But as we delve deeper, you'll discover that this Stoic principle is far more nuanced and powerful than it might initially appear. It's not just about recognizing what you can and can't control. It's about fundamentally altering your relationship with the world around you, and more importantly, with yourself. The importance of this principle cannot be overstated. In our modern world, we're constantly bombarded with information, expectations, and demands. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to find ourselves reacting to every stimulus, every piece of news, every opinion that comes our way. This reactive mode of living often leads to stress, anxiety, and a pervasive sense of powerlessness. But what if there was a way to cut through this noise, to find a calm center amidst the chaos? This is where the Stoic concept of control comes into play. By understanding and applying this principle, you can begin to reduce the stress and anxiety that come from fixating on uncontrollable events. Think about how much mental energy you expend worrying about things that are entirely outside your influence: the weather, other people's opinions, global events. Now imagine redirecting all that energy towards areas where you can actually make a difference. But the benefits go beyond just stress reduction. This principle empowers you to take responsibility for your own happiness and well-being. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, you begin to recognize your power to shape your experience of life, regardless of external conditions. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating, opening up new possibilities for personal growth and fulfillment. Moreover, by focusing on what's truly within your control, you gain mental clarity and the ability to concentrate on meaningful actions. Rather than dispersing your energy across a multitude of concerns, you learn to channel it effectively, leading to greater productivity and a sense of purpose in your daily life. So, what exactly did Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics mean when they talked about control? At its core, this principle revolves around what they called the dichotomy of control. This concept divides all aspects of life into two categories: those things that are within our power to influence and those that are not. Understanding this dichotomy is crucial. On one side, we have our thoughts, judgments, and actions. These are the internal aspects of our experience, the things that are truly under our control. On the other side lie external events, other people's opinions and outcomes, things that we might influence to some degree, but ultimately cannot control. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on this distinction. In one passage from his Meditations, he writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This simple yet profound statement encapsulates the essence of the Stoic approach to control. But how do we apply this principle in practice? It starts with a shift in focus towards what the Stoics called internals, those aspects of life that are genuinely within our power to control. This primarily involves mastery over our own thoughts and perceptions. Our thoughts shape our reality. By learning to manage our perceptions and judgments, we gain the power to influence our emotional responses to events. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or adopting a cold, detached attitude. Rather, it's about developing the ability to step back and examine our thoughts objectively, to question our initial reactions and choose our responses consciously. This mastery over thoughts requires cognitive discipline. It's a skill that can be developed through practice, much like strengthening a muscle. By consistently observing our thought patterns and challenging unhelpful or irrational beliefs, we gradually gain greater control over our mental landscape. Alongside thought management, the Stoics emphasize the importance of intentional actions. This involves aligning our behaviors with our values and principles. It's about making conscious choices rather than simply reacting to external stimuli. By focusing on our actions, the one thing truly under our control, we can maintain a sense of purpose and integrity regardless of outcomes. Consistency in behavior is key here. It's not about occasional grand gestures, but about the small, daily choices that reflect our principles. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the importance of living in accordance with nature and reason, even in the face of adversity or temptation. While focusing on internals is crucial, equally important is learning to let go of externals, those aspects of life that lie beyond our control. This can be one of the most challenging aspects of applying Stoic principles, as it often goes against our natural inclinations. We humans have a tendency to try to control everything in our environment, to shape the world to our liking. But the reality is that much of what happens in life is beyond our influence. Weather patterns, other people's actions, global events, these are all examples of externals that we might worry about but ultimately cannot control. The Stoic approach advocates for acceptance of these uncontrollable factors. This doesn't mean passive resignation, but rather a clear-eyed recognition of reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about embracing uncertainty and unpredictability as natural aspects of life. This acceptance can lead to a form of emotional detachment that the Stoics saw as beneficial. By not tying our happiness or sense of self-worth to external outcomes, we can avoid much of the emotional turmoil that comes from things not going our way. Instead, we can cultivate a state of equanimity, a calm acceptance of both good and bad fortune. Again, it's important to note that this isn't about becoming emotionless or indifferent. The goal is to respond to life's events with wisdom and proportion, rather than being tossed about by every change in circumstance. Putting these principles into practice requires consistent effort and self-reflection. One practical exercise that can be helpful is identifying your personal circles of control. This involves creating lists or mental categories of things that are within your control, things you can influence but not control, and things entirely outside your control. For example, you might recognize that your reactions to a challenging work situation are within your control, while your colleague's behavior is not. You can influence the quality of your work, but you can't control whether you get a promotion. By clearly delineating these categories, you can start to shift your focus and energy towards the areas where you can make a real difference. Mindfulness techniques can also be powerful tools for implementing this Stoic principle. Meditation practices focused on acceptance can help you cultivate a more detached perspective on external events. Simple breathing exercises can be used in the moment to release tension and refocus on what's within your control when you find yourself getting caught up in worry or frustration over externals. As you begin to apply these concepts in your daily life, you may start to notice changes. At first, you might simply find that you're better able to cope with daily stresses. Instead of getting upset over traffic jams or minor inconveniences, you might find yourself responding with greater calm and perspective. With continued practice, you may develop enhanced emotional resilience in the face of more significant challenges. Life's inevitable setbacks and disappointments become opportunities for growth rather than sources of lasting distress. You might find yourself bouncing back more quickly from adversity, armed with the knowledge that your well-being doesn't depend on external circumstances. The ultimate goal, what we might consider the best outcome of mastering this principle, is achieving a state of inner peace that remains stable regardless of external circumstances. This doesn't mean you won't face difficulties or experience negative emotions. Rather, it means that you'll have developed the capacity to maintain your center, your sense of purpose and integrity, even in the midst of life's storms. Of course, the journey to mastering this principle is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with letting go of the illusion of control over external events. We're often deeply attached to particular outcomes, and the idea of accepting whatever happens can feel like giving up. The solution to this struggle lies in consistent practice of acceptance exercises. This might involve regularly reminding yourself of what's within and outside your control, or using visualization techniques to imagine accepting various possible outcomes of a situation. Over time, this practice can help shift your perspective and loosen your attachment to specific external results. Another common pitfall is misinterpreting the Stoic emphasis on acceptance as advocating for passivity or indifference. Some might think that focusing only on what's within their control means not trying to influence external events at all. This is a misunderstanding of the principle. The key is to understand the difference between active acceptance and passive resignation. Active acceptance involves clearly seeing what's within your control and what isn't, then focusing your energy on what you can influence while being prepared to accept any outcome. It's about taking action without being attached to the results. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth reflecting on how this principle of control can transform your daily life. Imagine approaching each day with a clear understanding of where to focus your energy, free from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. Picture yourself responding to life's ups and downs with equanimity, your sense of well-being rooted in your own thoughts and actions rather than external circumstances. This is the power of the Stoic principle of control. It's a tool for navigating life's complexities with greater wisdom and serenity. As you continue to explore and apply this concept, you may find that it opens up new possibilities for personal growth and fulfillment. But control is just the beginning. As we move forward, we'll explore another fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy, one that complements and builds upon what we've discussed here. It's a principle that challenges our common notions of success and failure, inviting us to reconsider what truly matters in our pursuits. Are you ready to discover how shifting your focus from outcomes to something far more powerful can revolutionize your approach to life's challenges? Chapter 3: Effort. In the quiet hours before dawn, a solitary figure sits at a desk, quill in hand, pouring thoughts onto parchment. This scene, repeated countless times throughout history, captures a profound truth about human endeavor. But what drives this figure to persist, day after day, in the face of uncertainty? What secret lies hidden in the act of effort itself? As we delve into this chapter, we'll uncover a principle that has the power to transform not just how we work, but how we view success and failure themselves. It's a concept that challenges our conventional wisdom about achievement and offers a radical new perspective on what it means to live a fulfilling life. At first glance, the idea of effort might seem straightforward. We all know that hard work is important, right? But as we explore this Stoic principle more deeply, you'll discover that there's much more to it than simply putting in long hours or gritting your teeth through difficult tasks. The Stoic view of effort, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, offers a profound shift in how we approach our goals and challenges. Why is this principle so important? In our results-driven world, it's easy to become fixated on outcomes. We often measure our worth by our achievements, tying our sense of self to external markers of success. But what if there was a different way to approach our endeavors, one that could free us from the anxiety of uncertain outcomes while still driving us to excel? This is where the Stoic emphasis on effort comes into play. By prioritizing effort over results, we open ourselves to a host of benefits. First and foremost, this approach encourages a growth mindset and continuous improvement. When we focus on the process rather than the outcome, we're more likely to embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and development. Each effort becomes a step forward, regardless of the immediate result. Moreover, this principle has the power to reduce our fear of failure and tendency towards procrastination. When our worth isn't tied to outcomes, the paralysis that often comes from fear of failure begins to dissolve. We become more willing to take risks, to try new things, knowing that our effort itself is valuable, regardless of the result. Perhaps most importantly, prioritizing effort can enhance our satisfaction and fulfillment from the process itself. Instead of constantly striving for some future goal, we learn to find joy and meaning in the present moment, in the very act of applying ourselves to a task or challenge. But what exactly did Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics mean when they emphasized effort over outcome? At its core, this principle revolves around the idea that while we can control our own actions and efforts, we often have little to no control over the final results of our endeavors. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on this concept in his Meditations. In one passage, he writes, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. Things can't shape our decisions by themselves." This simple yet profound statement encapsulates the Stoic approach to effort and outcome. The value of effort over outcome lies in its ability to cultivate intrinsic motivation. When we learn to find joy in the process itself, we tap into a wellspring of motivation that isn't dependent on external rewards or recognition. This intrinsic motivation can sustain us through challenges and setbacks, keeping us engaged and committed even when the path is difficult. Moreover, by detaching ourselves from results, we can significantly reduce the anxiety that often accompanies our pursuits. Think about how much mental energy you expend worrying about outcomes that are ultimately beyond your control. Now imagine redirecting all that energy towards the quality of your effort, towards showing up fully in each moment of your work or practice. This detachment from results doesn't mean we don't care about outcomes. Rather, it's about recognizing that the outcome is not the sole measure of our worth or the value of our effort. It's about finding satisfaction in knowing we've given our best, regardless of the external result. Central to this principle is the idea of commitment to excellence. The Stoics, and Marcus Aurelius in particular, emphasize the importance of setting high personal standards and striving to meet them consistently. This isn't about perfectionism, but about defining what your best effort looks like and committing to bringing that level of dedication to your endeavors. Setting personal standards involves honest self-reflection. What does your best effort look like? What values and principles guide your actions? By clearly defining these standards for yourself, you create an internal compass that can guide your efforts regardless of external circumstances or outcomes. Consistency in action is key to this commitment to excellence. It's not about occasional bursts of intense effort, but about showing up day after day, bringing your best to each task or challenge. This consistency builds habits of diligence that can serve you well across all areas of life. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the importance of consistent effort. In one reflection, he writes, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice." This emphasis on bringing full attention and effort to each task no matter how small, is at the heart of the Stoic approach to effort. One of the most powerful aspects of prioritizing effort is its ability to cultivate resilience. When we focus on our actions rather than outcomes, we develop the capacity to persevere in the face of obstacles and setbacks. This resilience through perseverance is a key theme in Stoic philosophy. Overcoming obstacles becomes a matter of adapting our efforts rather than giving up in the face of difficulty. When we encounter challenges, instead of becoming discouraged by the potential for failure, we can ask ourselves, how can I adjust my approach? What new efforts can I make? This mindset also allows us to learn from failures, viewing them not as final judgments on our worth or abilities, but as valuable feedback that can inform our future efforts. This aligns closely with modern concepts of the growth mindset, which emphasizes the ability to learn and improve through effort and experience. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the nature of obstacles and the importance of perseverance. In one passage, he writes, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful reframing of obstacles as opportunities for growth and progress encapsulates the Stoic approach to resilience and perseverance. Putting these principles into practice requires consistent effort and self-reflection. One practical approach is to adopt process-oriented goal setting. Instead of focusing solely on end results, set goals that emphasize the actions and efforts you'll make. For example, rather than setting a goal to win a competition, you might focus on practicing consistently for an hour each day or refining my technique in specific areas. Another helpful practice is keeping daily effort logs. This involves tracking your efforts and the quality of your work, rather than just the outcomes. By acknowledging and reflecting on your efforts regularly, you reinforce the value of the process itself and build a sense of progress that isn't dependent on external results. As you begin to apply these concepts in your daily life, you may start to notice changes. At first, you might simply find that you're more motivated and engaged in your tasks. Instead of procrastinating or feeling overwhelmed by the prospect of failure, you might find yourself more willing to dive in and give your best effort, knowing that the effort itself is valuable. With continued practice, you may develop a stronger work ethic and greater discipline. The habit of consistent effort, detached from immediate results, can lead to a profound shift in how you approach challenges and long-term goals. You might find yourself more resilient in the face of setbacks, able to maintain your commitment and enthusiasm even when things don't go as planned. The ultimate goal, what we might consider the best outcome of mastering this principle, is achieving a state of personal mastery and fulfillment that's independent of external validation. This doesn't mean you won't celebrate successes or feel disappointment in failures. Rather, it means that your sense of worth and satisfaction comes primarily from knowing you've given your best effort, regardless of the outcome. Of course, the journey to mastering this principle is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with becoming discouraged by a lack of immediate results. We live in a world that often emphasizes quick wins and instant gratification, making it difficult to maintain focus on long-term effort. The solution to this struggle lies in regularly reminding yourself of the value of effort. This might involve reflecting on past experiences where sustained effort led to growth or achievement, even if the path wasn't straightforward. It can also be helpful to seek out examples and stories of individuals who achieved mastery or success through consistent effort over time. Another common pitfall is the risk of overexertion leading to burnout. In our enthusiasm to apply consistent effort, we might push ourselves too hard, neglecting necessary rest and self-care. The key here is to understand that balance is crucial. The Stoic emphasis on effort doesn't mean working yourself to exhaustion. Instead, it's about sustainable, consistent effort over time. This involves learning to balance periods of intense focus with adequate rest and recovery. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, take a rest. A field that is rested gives a beautiful crop. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth reflecting on how this principle of prioritizing effort over outcomes can transform your daily life. Imagine approaching each task, each challenge, with a focus on bringing your best effort, free from the anxiety of uncertain outcomes. Picture yourself finding satisfaction and growth in the process itself, building resilience and mastery through consistent dedication. This is the power of the Stoic principle of effort. It's a tool for navigating life's complexities with greater purpose and fulfillment. As you continue to explore and apply this concept, you may find that it opens up new possibilities for personal growth and achievement. But effort is just one piece of the puzzle. As we move forward, we'll explore another fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy, one that complements and builds upon what we've discussed here. It's a principle that challenges our common reactions to life's ups and downs, inviting us to cultivate a powerful inner state that can transform how we navigate the world. What if there was a way to find strength and clarity even in the midst of chaos? Are you ready to discover the surprising power that lies in cultivating a particular state of mind? Chapter 4. In the eye of a storm, there exists a place of profound stillness. While chaos rages all around, this center remains undisturbed, a beacon of tranquility amidst the tumult. What if you could cultivate this same quality within yourself? What if, no matter what life throws your way, you could access an inner wellspring of peace and clarity? As we embark on this chapter, we'll explore a principle that has the potential to revolutionize how you navigate the complexities of daily life. It's a concept that challenges our typical responses to stress and uncertainty, offering a powerful alternative that can transform not just how we feel, but how we think and act in the face of life's challenges. At first glance, the idea of calmness might seem simple, perhaps even passive. We often associate being calm with relaxation or the absence of activity. But as we delve deeper into the Stoic understanding of calmness, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, you'll discover that it's far more than just a state of relaxation. It's a dynamic, powerful tool that can enhance every aspect of your life. Why is cultivating calmness so important? In our fast-paced, high-stress world, it's easy to get caught up in a constant state of reactivity. We bounce from one stimulus to another, our emotions and actions driven by external events rather than internal wisdom. But what if there was a way to step back from this reactivity, to find a place of clarity and strength even in the midst of chaos? This is where the Stoic emphasis on calmness comes into play. By cultivating inner peace, we enhance our mental clarity and focus. Instead of being overwhelmed by the noise of our thoughts and emotions, we create space for clear, rational thinking. This clarity allows us to see situations more objectively and make decisions based on wisdom rather than impulse. Moreover, cultivating calmness can significantly improve our relationships. When we respond to others from a place of inner peace rather than reactivity, we're more likely to communicate effectively and empathetically. We're less likely to say things we'll regret later or escalate conflicts unnecessarily. This measured approach to interactions can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Perhaps most importantly, embracing calmness as a way of life can dramatically reduce our overall stress levels and promote well-being. Chronic stress is a major contributor to numerous health issues, both physical and mental. By learning to maintain inner peace, even in challenging situations, we can mitigate the harmful effects of stress and cultivate a more balanced, healthier life. But what exactly did Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics mean when they emphasized calmness? For them, calmness wasn't just about feeling relaxed or avoiding conflict. It was a source of profound strength and clarity. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This perspective reframes calmness not as passivity, but as a form of power. It's the ability to maintain your center, your clarity of thought and purpose, regardless of external circumstances. This inner peace becomes a foundation from which you can engage with the world more effectively and authentically. The power of inner peace lies in its ability to enhance our decision-making capabilities. When we're calm, we're better able to see situations clearly without the distortion of excessive emotion or reactivity. This clarity allows us to consider our options more thoroughly and make choices aligned with our values and long-term goals, rather than being driven by immediate impulses or fears. Furthermore, calmness fosters a sense of confidence. When we know we can maintain our composure in challenging situations, we approach life with greater assurance. This confidence isn't based on external validation or circumstances, but on our own inner strength and stability. One of the key aspects of cultivating calmness is learning to respond rather than react. This distinction is crucial. Reacting is automatic, often driven by emotion or habit. Responding, on the other hand, involves a moment of pause, a space in which we can choose our actions thoughtfully. Mindful responses come from a place of inner calm. Instead of immediately lashing out when someone criticizes us or panicking when faced with a challenge, we learn to take a breath, assess the situation, and choose our response deliberately. This thoughtful consideration allows us to act in ways that align with our values and serve our long-term interests. Avoiding impulsive reactions is a crucial part of this process. Impulsivity often leads to actions we later regret or outcomes that don't serve us well. By cultivating calmness, we create a buffer between stimulus and response, giving ourselves the opportunity to choose more wisely. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of measured responses. In one passage, he writes, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." This emphasis on calmness as a source of strength underscores the Stoic view that true power comes not from external control, but from mastery over our own minds and reactions. Maintaining composure, especially in challenging situations, is a skill that can be developed over time. Stress management is a crucial component of this. By learning techniques to reduce stress and maintain inner calm, we build our capacity to face life's challenges with equanimity. Cultivating patience is another key aspect of maintaining composure. In our instant gratification culture, patience can seem like an outdated virtue. But the ability to delay gratification, to remain calm and steady in pursuit of long-term goals, is a powerful tool for success and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the importance of patience and composure. In one reflection, he writes, "No man can rob us of our free will." This powerful statement underscores the Stoic belief that our inner state, our calmness and clarity, is always within our control, regardless of external circumstances. Putting these principles into practice requires consistent effort and self-reflection. One practical approach is to develop a regular practice of breathing techniques. Simple exercises, like box breathing, can provide immediate relief in stressful situations, helping to calm the mind and body quickly. Meditation is another powerful tool for cultivating lasting inner peace. By developing a daily meditation routine, even if it's just for a few minutes each day, you can strengthen your ability to maintain calmness and clarity in all aspects of your life. This doesn't have to involve complex techniques. Simple mindfulness practices, focusing on your breath or bodily sensations, can be incredibly effective. As you begin to apply these concepts in your daily life, you may start to notice changes. At first, you might simply find that you're better able to remain calm in minor stressful situations. Instead of getting frustrated in traffic or anxious about a looming deadline, you might find yourself able to maintain a sense of inner peace and perspective. With continued practice, you may develop the ability to maintain composure even during significant challenges. Life's inevitable setbacks and difficulties become opportunities to practice and deepen your calmness rather than sources of lasting distress. You might find yourself navigating complex situations with a clarity and confidence that surprises both you and those around you. The ultimate goal, what we might consider the best outcome of mastering this principle, is establishing a lasting state of inner peace and confidence. This doesn't mean you won't ever feel stressed or upset. Rather, it means that you'll have developed the capacity to return to a state of calmness quickly, to maintain your center even in the midst of life's storms. Of course, the journey to mastering this principle is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with maintaining calm under pressure, especially in situations that trigger strong emotions or when facing significant stakes. The key here is consistent practice. Regular relaxation techniques, practiced when you're not under stress, build the mental muscles that allow you to access calmness when you need it most. Another common pitfall is misconstruing calmness as indifference. Some might worry that by cultivating inner peace, they'll lose their passion or engagement with life. This is a misunderstanding of the principle. True calmness, as the Stoics understood it, isn't about becoming emotionless or detached. It's about finding a balanced, centered state from which you can engage with life more fully and authentically. The solution here is to balance calmness with empathy and engagement. As you cultivate inner peace, also practice connecting deeply with others and with your own values and passions. Calmness provides the foundation from which you can engage more meaningfully with the world, not a retreat from it. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth reflecting on how this principle of cultivating calmness can transform your daily life. Imagine approaching each day with a sense of inner peace, able to navigate challenges with clarity and confidence. Picture yourself responding thoughtfully to life's ups and downs, your actions guided by wisdom rather than reactivity. This is the power of the Stoic principle of calmness. It's a tool for navigating life's complexities with greater ease and effectiveness. As you continue to explore and apply this concept, you may find that it opens up new possibilities for personal growth and fulfillment. But calmness is just one piece of the puzzle. As we move forward, we'll explore another fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy, one that complements and builds upon what we've discussed here. It's a principle that challenges our common perceptions of self and identity, inviting us to examine a force that often drives our actions without us even realizing it. What hidden influence shapes our decisions and reactions, often leading us astray from our true path? Are you ready to confront an aspect of yourself that may be holding you back from reaching your full potential? Chapter 5. In the quiet chambers of our minds, a constant narrative unfolds. It's a story we tell ourselves about who we are, our place in the world, and our relationship to others. This inner dialogue shapes our perceptions, influences our decisions, and colors our interactions. But what if this narrative, so familiar and seemingly essential, was actually holding us back? What if there was a way to see the world more clearly, to make better decisions, and to connect more authentically with others? As we delve into this chapter, we'll explore a concept that has the power to fundamentally alter how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. It's a principle that challenges our deeply held notions of self and identity, offering a radical new perspective on what it means to live wisely and well. At first glance, the idea of ego might seem straightforward. We all have a sense of self, after all. But as we explore the Stoic understanding of ego, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, you'll discover that there's much more to it than just self-awareness or self-esteem. The Stoic view of ego offers a profound insight into human nature and the barriers we often create for ourselves. Why is addressing the ego so important? In our modern world, we're often encouraged to build up our ego, to project confidence and assert our individuality. But what if this emphasis on self-importance is actually hindering our growth and happiness? What if there was a different way to approach our sense of self, one that could lead to greater wisdom, better relationships, and more fulfilling lives? This is where the Stoic emphasis on minimizing ego comes into play. By learning to quiet the constant chatter of our ego, we open ourselves to a host of benefits. First and foremost, this approach can significantly enhance our interpersonal relationships. When we approach others with humility rather than arrogance, we create space for genuine connection and understanding. We become better listeners, more empathetic friends, and more effective collaborators. Moreover, minimizing ego allows for a more objective assessment of situations. When we're not constantly trying to protect or inflate our sense of self-importance, we can see things more clearly without the distortion of personal bias or defensiveness. This clarity can lead to better decision-making in all areas of life, from personal relationships to professional endeavors. Perhaps most importantly, addressing our ego facilitates personal growth by allowing us to acknowledge our areas for improvement. When we're not defensive about our shortcomings or overly attached to our current self-image, we become more open to learning and change. This openness is the foundation of true wisdom and personal development. But what exactly did Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics mean when they talked about ego? In Stoic philosophy, the ego isn't just about self-esteem or confidence. It's more broadly understood as our sense of self-importance, our attachment to our own perspective and desires. The Stoics recognize that this ego often acts as a barrier to clear thinking and wise action. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the nature of ego and its impact on our lives. In one passage from his Meditations, he writes, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This insightful observation highlights the paradoxical nature of ego, how it can simultaneously make us self-centered and yet dependent on external validation. The Stoics understood that ego often impedes our growth and happiness. When we're overly attached to our self-image or constantly seeking to prove our worth, we create barriers to learning and connection. We become defensive in the face of criticism, resistant to new ideas, and blind to our own faults. This self-importance can lead us to make poor decisions, prioritizing short-term ego gratification over long-term wisdom and growth. Cultivating humility is a key aspect of addressing ego. This doesn't mean thinking less of yourself, but rather thinking of yourself less. It's about recognizing our limitations and embracing our imperfections. When we acknowledge that we don't have all the answers, that we're fallible and still learning, we open ourselves up to growth and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the importance of humility. In one reflection, he writes, "It is possible to curb your arrogance, to overcome pleasure and pain, to rise above your ambition, and to not be angry with stupid and ungrateful people. Yes, even to care for them." This powerful statement encapsulates the Stoic ideal of rising above our ego-driven reactions and embracing a more humble, compassionate approach to life. Valuing others is another crucial aspect of minimizing ego. When we truly appreciate the worth and potential of those around us, we naturally become less self-centered. This involves practicing empathy and respect, truly listening to others and considering their perspectives, even when they differ from our own. Overcoming self-centeredness is a gradual process that involves consciously shifting our focus outward. Instead of constantly asking, "What's in it for me?" or "How does this make me look?" we can start to consider how we can contribute to the greater good. This doesn't mean neglecting our own needs or desires, but rather finding a balance between self-care and care for others. Seeking feedback and being open to criticism is another powerful way to address our ego. When we're willing to hear honest assessments of our performance or behavior, even when it's uncomfortable, we create opportunities for growth and improvement. This openness to feedback requires us to set aside our ego's desire for constant praise and affirmation. Marcus Aurelius understood the value of this openness to feedback. He wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed." Putting these principles into practice requires consistent effort and self-reflection. One practical approach is to regularly reflect on our personal biases and ego-driven thoughts. This might involve keeping a journal where we record instances where our ego led us astray or clouded our judgment. By becoming more aware of these patterns, we can start to catch ourselves in the moment and make more conscious choices. Another powerful practice is engaging in acts of service without seeking recognition. This might involve volunteering for a cause we care about or simply helping others in our daily lives without expecting anything in return. These acts of selfless service can help shift our focus away from our own ego and towards the needs and experiences of others. As you begin to apply these concepts in your daily life, you may start to notice changes. At first, you might simply find that your relationships improve as you approach others with more humility and openness. You might find yourself having more meaningful conversations, resolving conflicts more easily, and feeling a greater sense of connection with those around you. With continued practice, you may develop enhanced decision-making skills through greater objectivity. When you're not constantly trying to protect or inflate your ego, you can see situations more clearly and make choices based on wisdom rather than defensiveness or the need for validation. The ultimate goal, what we might consider the best outcome of mastering this principle, is achieving a state of deep wisdom and self-understanding. This doesn't mean you'll never experience ego-driven thoughts or reactions. Rather, it means you'll have developed the capacity to recognize these ego patterns quickly and choose a more balanced, humble approach to life. Of course, the journey to mastering this principle is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with confusing humility with low self-esteem. It's important to recognize that true humility isn't about thinking less of yourself, but about thinking of yourself less. The solution here is to cultivate a strong sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on constant ego gratification. This involves recognizing your inherent value as a human being while still remaining open to growth and learning. Another common pitfall is resistance to letting go of ego. Our ego often feels like a protective shield, and the idea of lowering that shield can feel threatening. The key here is to regularly practice self-awareness exercises. By consistently observing our thoughts and reactions, we can start to see how our ego often creates more problems than it solves. This awareness can gradually reduce our attachment to ego-driven patterns. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth reflecting on how this principle of minimizing ego can transform your daily life. Imagine approaching each day with a sense of humility and openness, free from the need to constantly prove your worth or defend your self-image. Picture yourself making decisions based on wisdom and objectivity rather than ego-driven impulses. Envision connecting with others more authentically, your relationships deepened by genuine empathy and mutual respect. This is the power of the Stoic principle of addressing ego. It's a tool for navigating life's complexities with greater wisdom and authenticity. As you continue to explore and apply this concept, you may find that it opens up new possibilities for personal growth and fulfillment. But ego is just one piece of the puzzle. As we move forward, we'll explore another fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy, one that complements and builds upon what we've discussed here. It's a principle that challenges our common perceptions of life and death, inviting us to confront a truth that many of us spend our lives avoiding. What if there was a way to live more fully by embracing the very thing we fear most? Are you ready to discover how facing our mortality can paradoxically lead to a more vibrant, meaningful life? Chapter 6. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world slows and our thoughts turn inward, have you ever found yourself pondering the grand mystery of existence? There's a question that lurks in the shadows of our consciousness, one that we often push away in our busy daily lives. But what if confronting this question could unlock a profound shift in how we live? As we embark on this chapter, we'll explore a principle that has the power to fundamentally alter our perspective on life itself. It's a concept that challenges our common avoidance of a universal truth, offering a radical new approach to finding meaning and purpose in our finite existence. At first glance, the idea of memento might seem cryptic or even ominous. But as we delve into the Stoic understanding of this principle, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, you'll discover that it's not about dwelling on the negative, but about embracing a profound truth that can enrich every moment of our lives. Why is this principle so important? In our modern world, we're often encouraged to avoid thinking about our mortality, to push it to the back of our minds and focus on the here and now. But what if this avoidance is actually preventing us from living fully? What if there was a way to use the awareness of our finite existence as a tool for living more meaningfully and purposefully? This is where the Stoic practice of memento mori comes into play. Far from being morbid or depressing, this principle encourages us to live a more meaningful and purposeful life. By acknowledging the reality of our mortality, we're prompted to consider what truly matters to us, to focus on our values and priorities rather than getting caught up in trivial concerns. Moreover, regularly reflecting on our mortality can, paradoxically, reduce our fear of death and the unknown. When we confront this universal truth head-on, we often find that much of our anxiety stems from avoidance rather than acceptance. By embracing the reality of our finite existence, we can find a sense of peace and even liberation. Perhaps most importantly, this principle helps us prioritize our actions and goals. When we're acutely aware that our time is limited, we're more likely to focus on what truly matters to us, to pursue our most important goals, and cherish our most valued relationships. But what exactly did Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics mean when they talked about memento mori? This Latin phrase translates to remember that you must die, but its meaning goes far beyond a simple reminder of mortality. For the Stoics, it was a tool for living life more fully and authentically. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the transient nature of life in his meditations. In one passage he writes, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This powerful statement encapsulates the Stoic approach to mortality, not as something to fear, but as a motivator to live with intention and purpose. The concept of memento mori isn't about being morbid or pessimistic. Instead, it's about using the awareness of our mortality to enrich our lives. When we truly internalize the fact that our time is limited, we're more likely to make the most of each moment, to pursue what truly matters to us, and to let go of petty concerns that might otherwise consume our energy. This awareness has a profound impact on our priorities. When we're faced with the reality of our finite existence, the trivial worries and anxieties that often occupy our minds tend to fade into insignificance. Instead, we're drawn to focus on what truly matters: our relationships, our personal growth, our contributions to the world around us. Gaining perspective through this practice involves accepting the transience of life. Everything in this world is impermanent, including ourselves. While this might seem like a somber realization, it can actually be incredibly liberating. When we accept impermanence, we're less likely to cling to things, to resist change, or to take our experiences for granted. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of life's transience. In one reflection, he writes, "All that you see will soon alter and cease to exist. Think of how many changes you have already witnessed." This recognition of constant change can help us appreciate the present moment more fully and let go of our attachments to temporary circumstances. Letting go of trivialities is another crucial aspect of this practice. How often do we find ourselves caught up in petty concerns, minor irritations, or trivial pursuits? When we view these through the lens of our mortality, they often lose their power over us. We realize that life is too short and precious to waste on such inconsequential matters. Living with urgency and purpose is a natural outcome of embracing this principle. When we're aware that our time is limited, we're more likely to make the most of it. This doesn't mean living in a constant state of anxiety or rushing through life. Rather, it's about living with intention, making conscious choices about how we spend our time and energy. Time management takes on a new significance when viewed through this lens. It's not just about being productive or efficient, but about ensuring that we're dedicating our limited time to what truly matters to us. This might involve regularly reassessing our priorities, saying no to commitments that don't align with our values, and making time for the people and activities that bring us joy and fulfillment. Aligning our actions with our values becomes paramount when we embrace this principle. If we knew our time was limited, which of course it is, would we continue to live as we do now? Would we pursue the same goals, maintain the same relationships, spend our time in the same ways? This reflection can be a powerful motivator for change, encouraging us to ensure that our daily actions reflect our deepest values and aspirations. Putting these principles into practice requires consistent effort and reflection. One practical approach is to incorporate daily reflections on mortality into our routines. This might involve a brief morning meditation, considering the day ahead in light of our finite existence. Or it could be an evening practice, reflecting on how we spent our day and whether our actions aligned with our values and priorities. Another powerful exercise is writing a personal eulogy. This involves imagining what we'd want said about us at the end of our lives. What kind of person do we want to be remembered as? What accomplishments or qualities would we want highlighted? This exercise can help clarify our values and long-term goals, providing a compass for our daily decisions and actions. As you begin to apply these concepts in your daily life, you may start to notice changes. At first, you might simply find that you have an increased appreciation for your daily experiences. The ordinary moments of life, a conversation with a friend, a beautiful sunset, the satisfaction of completing a task, might take on new significance when viewed through the lens of our mortality. With continued practice, you may find yourself more focused on pursuing meaningful goals. Instead of drifting through life or pursuing objectives that don't truly resonate with your values, you might find yourself more intentional about your choices and more committed to your most important aspirations. The ultimate goal, what we might consider the best outcome of mastering this principle, is achieving a profound peace with the concept of mortality and the sense of having lived a full, meaningful life. This doesn't mean you'll never feel fear or anxiety about death, but rather that you'll have developed a deep acceptance of life's finite nature and a satisfaction in knowing you've made the most of your time. Of course, the journey to mastering this principle is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with developing anxiety about death when they first start to engage with this concept. The key here is to balance reflection on mortality with gratitude practices. By regularly acknowledging the things we're grateful for in our lives, we can maintain a positive perspective even as we confront the reality of our finite existence. Another common pitfall is becoming detached from life's joys in an attempt to avoid attachment. The solution here is to consciously engage fully in present moments. Embracing our mortality should enhance our appreciation for life, not diminish it. By practicing mindfulness and fully immersing ourselves in our experiences, we can find joy and meaning even as we acknowledge life's impermanence. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth reflecting on how this principle of memento mori can transform your daily life. Imagine approaching each day with a keen awareness of its preciousness, free from the burden of trivial worries, and focused on what truly matters to you. Picture yourself making decisions based on your deepest values, pursuing goals that align with your authentic self, and cherishing your relationships and experiences more fully. This is the power of the Stoic principle of memento mori. It's a tool for navigating life's complexities with greater wisdom, intention, and appreciation. As you continue to explore and apply this concept, you may find that it opens up new possibilities for living a rich, meaningful life. But acknowledging our mortality is just one piece of the puzzle. As we move forward, we'll explore another fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy, one that complements and builds upon what we've discussed here. It's a principle that challenges our common pursuit of fleeting pleasures and external validation, inviting us to consider a deeper, more enduring source of fulfillment. What if there was a way to find lasting satisfaction that doesn't depend on changing circumstances or fleeting emotions? Are you ready to discover how aligning with a greater purpose can transform not just how you live, but why you live? Chapter 7, Purpose. In the tapestry of human experience, there's a thread that weaves through the lives of those who've left an indelible mark on the world. It's a quality that transcends time and circumstance, guiding actions and decisions with an unwavering sense of direction. But what is this elusive thread, and how can we grasp it in our own lives? As we embark on this chapter, we'll explore a principle that has the power to transform not just what we do, but why we do it. It's a concept that challenges our modern obsession with instant gratification and fleeting pleasures, offering instead a path to deeper, more enduring satisfaction. At first glance, the idea of purpose might seem straightforward. We all have goals and ambitions, after all. But as we delve into the Stoic understanding of purpose, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, you'll discover that it's far more profound than simply setting and achieving objectives. The Stoic view of purpose offers a radical reframing of what it means to live a good life. Why is living with purpose so important? In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of immediate pleasures and short-term gains. We chase after the next promotion, the latest gadget, or the fleeting high of social media validation. But what if these pursuits are actually distracting us from something far more valuable? This is where the Stoic emphasis on purpose comes into play. By aligning our lives with a deeper sense of purpose, we gain direction and meaning that transcends the ups and downs of daily life. This sense of purpose provides a North Star, guiding our decisions and actions even in the face of challenges or uncertainty. Moreover, living with purpose enhances our motivation and drive. When we're connected to something larger than ourselves, something that resonates with our deepest values, we find reserves of energy and perseverance we might not have known we possessed. Obstacles become opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Perhaps most importantly, a life guided by purpose leads to lasting fulfillment and satisfaction. Unlike the fleeting pleasure of a purchase or the temporary high of an achievement, the satisfaction that comes from living in alignment with our purpose is deep and enduring. It's a sense of contentment that comes from knowing we're on the right path, even if the journey is challenging. But what exactly did Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics mean when they talked about purpose? For them, purpose wasn't just about personal ambition or success. It was about living in accordance with virtue and reason, contributing to the greater good of humanity. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of living with purpose. In one passage from his Meditations, he writes, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?'" This powerful statement encapsulates the Stoic view of purpose, not as something we choose for ourselves, but as something we discover through understanding our nature as human beings and our role in the larger cosmos. Discovering our personal purpose begins with identifying our core values. What principles do we hold dear? What do we stand for? These aren't always easy questions to answer, but they're crucial for understanding what will truly bring us fulfillment. It's important to differentiate between passion and purpose. While passion is often associated with strong emotions and enthusiasm, purpose is about deeper meaning and long-term commitment. Passions can change over time, but a well-defined purpose can guide us through various stages of life. The Stoics believed in living in accordance with nature, which for them meant aligning our lives with reason and virtue. They identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. By cultivating these virtues, they believed we could live in harmony with the natural order of the universe. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the importance of these virtues. He wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This simple yet profound guideline exemplifies the Stoic commitment to living with integrity and purpose. Living with purpose often requires overcoming numerous distractions. In our modern world, these distractions are more prevalent than ever. From the constant buzz of social media notifications to the pressure of societal expectations, there are countless forces vying for our attention and trying to shape our priorities. Recognizing these external influences is the first step in overcoming them. We need to become aware of how media, societal norms, and peer pressure can sway us from our chosen path. Once we're aware of these influences, we can develop strategies to stay focused on our purpose. Staying true to our path requires commitment and often courage. It means being willing to make choices that others might not understand or approve of. It means prioritizing our long-term purpose over short-term pleasures or social approval. Practical exercises can help us clarify and stay aligned with our purpose. One powerful tool is crafting a personal mission statement. This involves articulating our purpose in clear, concise terms. What do we want our life to stand for? What impact do we want to have on the world? A well-crafted mission statement can serve as a touchstone, helping us make decisions and set priorities. Another useful practice is ensuring our goals align with our purpose. It's easy to set goals based on societal expectations or fleeting desires, but true fulfillment comes when our objectives reflect our deeper purpose. Regularly reviewing and adjusting our goals to ensure they're in line with our mission can keep us on track. As we begin to live more purposefully, we may start to notice changes in our lives. At first, we might simply gain a clearer sense of direction and priorities. Instead of feeling pulled in multiple directions or unsure of what to focus on, we have a guiding principle to inform our choices. With continued practice, we may find our actions becoming more consistently aligned with our personal values. This alignment brings a sense of integrity and authenticity to our lives. We're no longer living according to others' expectations or chasing after things that don't truly matter to us. The ultimate goal, what we might consider the best outcome of living with purpose, is achieving a life rich in meaning and impact. This doesn't necessarily mean becoming famous or changing the world on a grand scale. It means living in a way that feels deeply right to us, that allows us to contribute our unique gifts to the world, and that leaves us with a sense of satisfaction at the end of each day. Of course, the journey to living with purpose is not without its challenges. Many people struggle with identifying their purpose in the first place. We might feel unsure of what truly matters to us, or overwhelmed by the idea of defining a life purpose. The solution here lies in engaging in self-exploration activities. This might involve journaling, meditation, or deep conversations with trusted friends or mentors. It's about asking ourselves probing questions. What activities make us lose track of time? What issues or causes stir our emotions? What kind of impact do we want to have on others? Through this exploration, we can begin to uncover the threads of our purpose. Another common pitfall is succumbing to short-term temptations that pull us away from our long-term purpose. The allure of immediate gratification can be strong, especially when the path of purpose involves challenges or delayed rewards. Implementing accountability measures can help us stay on track. This might involve sharing our goals with a trusted friend who can check in on our progress. It could mean setting up regular reviews of our actions to ensure they're aligned with our purpose. Some find it helpful to create visual reminders of their purpose, perhaps a vision board or a daily affirmation, to keep their focus on the bigger picture. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth reflecting on how living with purpose can transform your daily life. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear sense of why you're here and what you're working towards. Picture making decisions, big and small, guided by a deep understanding of your values and long-term goals. Envision looking back on your life and feeling a profound sense of satisfaction, knowing you've lived in alignment with what truly matters to you. This is the power of the Stoic principle of purpose. It's a tool for navigating life's complexities with greater clarity and meaning. As you continue to explore and apply this concept, you may find that it opens up new possibilities for living a life of substance and impact. But purpose is just one piece of the puzzle. As we move forward, we'll explore another fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy, one that complements and builds upon what we've discussed here. It's a principle that challenges our tendency to rush through life on autopilot, inviting us to pause and examine our thoughts and actions more closely. What if there was a way to gain deeper insight into ourselves and the world around us, simply by changing how we engage with our daily experiences? Are you ready to discover a practice that can transform ordinary moments into opportunities for profound growth and understanding? Chapter 8, Reflection. In the quiet moments between the rush of daily life, there lies a hidden doorway to profound wisdom and personal growth. It's a portal that exists within each of us, yet so often goes unnoticed or unexplored. What secrets might we uncover if we dared to step through this threshold? What truths about ourselves and the world around us might be revealed? As we embark on this chapter, we'll explore a practice that has the power to transform our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. It's a concept that challenges our tendency to live on autopilot, offering instead a path to deeper self-awareness and personal evolution. At first glance, the idea of reflection might seem simple, perhaps even mundane. We all think about our lives from time to time, after all. But as we delve into the Stoic understanding of reflection, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, you'll discover that it's far more profound and transformative than casual introspection. The Stoic approach to reflection offers a structured, intentional practice that can lead to remarkable personal growth and resilience. Why is this practice of reflection so important? In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the constant flow of external stimuli and demands. We move from task to task, reacting to situations and making decisions without truly examining our thoughts, emotions, or motivations. But what if this lack of introspection is actually holding us back from reaching our full potential? This is where the Stoic emphasis on reflection comes into play. By dedicating time to intentional self-examination, we open the door to continuous personal growth. Each reflection becomes an opportunity to learn, to refine our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It's a practice that allows us to evolve consciously rather than being shaped unconsciously by our circumstances. Moreover, regular reflection enhances our decision-making and problem-solving skills. When we take the time to examine our thought processes and the outcomes of our actions, we gain valuable insights that can inform future choices. We become more adept at recognizing patterns, anticipating consequences, and finding creative solutions to challenges. Perhaps most importantly, the practice of reflection builds emotional intelligence and self-regulation. By observing our emotional responses and the thoughts that drive them, we develop a greater capacity to manage our internal states. This emotional mastery allows us to respond to life's ups and downs with greater equanimity and wisdom. But what exactly did Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics mean when they emphasized the importance of reflection? For them, it wasn't just about casual introspection or occasional self-analysis. It was a daily practice, a fundamental aspect of living a philosophical life. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is perhaps the most famous example of Stoic reflection. These personal writings, never intended for publication, show us a powerful mind, grappling with the challenges of leadership, mortality, and the human condition. In one passage he writes, "Every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what weakness did I overcome today? What virtue did I acquire?" This simple yet profound practice encapsulates the Stoic approach to reflection, a daily examination of our thoughts, actions, and progress in living according to our principles. It's not about self-criticism or dwelling on mistakes, but about honest self-assessment and continuous improvement. The practice of self-examination is central to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that true wisdom and virtue could only be achieved through ongoing self-reflection and self-improvement. By regularly examining our thoughts, actions, and motivations, we can identify areas for growth and work consciously to align our behavior with our values. There are various methods of reflection, but two that were particularly valued by the Stoics were journaling and meditation. Journaling allows us to externalize our thoughts, providing a tangible record of our inner world that we can revisit and analyze. Meditation, on the other hand, offers a space for quiet introspection, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Developing self-awareness is a key outcome of regular reflection. This involves learning to understand our thoughts and emotions on a deeper level. Instead of being swept along by our feelings or reacting automatically to situations, we learn to monitor our internal states. We become observers of our own minds, able to recognize patterns in our thinking and emotional responses. This self-awareness extends to identifying our strengths and weaknesses. Through honest self-assessment, we can recognize areas where we excel and areas where we need improvement. This isn't about harsh self-criticism, but about clear-eyed self-knowledge that can inform our personal growth efforts. One of the most powerful aspects of reflection is its ability to help us correct course in our lives. By regularly examining our actions and their outcomes, we can learn from our mistakes and adjust our approach. The Stoics saw failures not as final judgments on our worth, but as valuable lessons that could inform future actions. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the importance of learning from mistakes. He wrote, "If you've made a mistake, correct it immediately. And if you've done something right, enjoy it immediately." This approach to reflection allows us to be both honest about our shortcomings and appreciative of our progress. Adapting and evolving is another crucial aspect of reflection. As we gain insights into ourselves and our behaviors, we can make conscious choices to grow and change. This flexibility in growth is essential for navigating life's challenges and continuously improving ourselves. Putting these principles into practice requires consistent effort and dedication. One practical approach is to establish daily journaling practices. This might involve setting aside time each day to write about your experiences, thoughts, and emotions. You could use prompts to guide your reflection, such as "What challenged me today?" or "How did I embody my values?" Setting reflection rituals can also be helpful. Many people find it beneficial to have both morning and evening reflection routines. A morning reflection might focus on setting intentions for the day ahead, while an evening practice could involve reviewing the day's events and lessons learned. As you begin to apply these concepts in your daily life, you may start to notice changes. At first, you might simply experience increased self-awareness and mindfulness. You may find yourself more attuned to your thoughts and emotions, more present in your daily experiences. With continued practice, you may develop enhanced personal growth and adaptability. The insights gained through regular reflection can accelerate your learning and development. You might find yourself more resilient in the face of challenges, able to adapt more quickly to changing circumstances. The ultimate goal, what we might consider the best outcome of mastering this practice, is achieving a state of self-mastery that leads to profound inner peace and effectiveness. This doesn't mean you'll never face difficulties or experience negative emotions. Rather, it means you'll have developed the capacity to navigate life's ups and downs with wisdom and equanimity, your actions guided by deep self-knowledge and clear principles. Of course, the journey to mastering this practice is not without its challenges. Many people experience resistance to self-examination. It can be uncomfortable to look closely at our thoughts and behaviors, especially if we uncover aspects of ourselves we don't like. The solution here is to start small. Begin with brief, manageable reflection practices. This might be as simple as taking a few minutes at the end of each day to ask yourself what went well and what you might do differently tomorrow. As you become more comfortable with the practice, you can gradually increase the depth and duration of your reflections. Another common pitfall is the tendency towards over-analysis, which can lead to anxiety. Some people find that too much introspection can lead to rumination on negative thoughts or excessive self-criticism. The key to addressing this is to balance reflection with self-compassion. Remember that the goal of reflection is growth and understanding, not self-punishment. Practice observing your thoughts and behaviors with kindness and curiosity rather than judgment. If you find yourself getting caught in negative thought spirals, it can be helpful to redirect your focus to the present moment or to engage in a physical activity to shift your mental state. As we conclude this chapter, it's worth reflecting on how this practice of intentional self-examination can transform your daily life. Imagine starting and ending each day with a clear understanding of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Picture yourself navigating challenges with greater wisdom and self-awareness, your decisions informed by deep self-knowledge and clear principles. Envision a life where continuous growth and self-improvement become not just goals, but daily realities. This is the power of the Stoic practice of reflection. It's a tool for navigating life's complexities with greater wisdom and self-awareness. As you continue to explore and apply this concept, you may find that it opens up new possibilities for personal growth and fulfillment. But reflection is just one piece of the puzzle. As we move forward, we'll explore the final aspect of our Stoic journey, one that ties together all we've learned and points the way forward. It's a principle that challenges us to see our philosophical practice not as a destination, but as an ongoing adventure. What if the wisdom we've gained is not just for our own benefit, but a torch to be carried forward into the world? Are you ready to discover how the Stoic path can become not just a personal philosophy, but a lifelong mission of growth and positive impact? Chapter 9, Journey. As we stand at the threshold of this final chapter, take a moment to reflect on the path we've traveled together. From the bustling streets of ancient Rome to the quiet corners of your own mind, we've explored timeless wisdom that has the power to transform not just how we think, but how we live. But our journey doesn't end here. In fact, in many ways, it's just beginning. The principles we've explored, control, effort, calm, ego, memento mori, purpose, and reflection, are not mere philosophical concepts to be studied and set aside. They are living tools meant to be carried with you into the world, shaping your actions and decisions day by day. As Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength, this empowerment through self-mastery, is perhaps the most profound gift that Stoicism offers. By applying these principles, you gain the ability to navigate life's complexities with greater wisdom and resilience. You're no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or your own unchecked impulses. Instead, you become the architect of your own experience, able to respond to life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Consider how this newfound empowerment might manifest in your daily life. Perhaps you find yourself facing a difficult decision at work. Instead of being overwhelmed by anxiety or swayed by others' opinions, you can draw on the Stoic principle of control, focusing your energy on what you can influence and accepting what you cannot. You can reflect on your core values and long-term purpose, ensuring your decision aligns with what truly matters to you. This enhanced resilience and adaptability extends beyond individual decisions to your overall approach to life. Setbacks that might once have derailed you for days or weeks become opportunities for growth and learning. You develop the capacity to bounce back from adversity more quickly, your inner calm providing a stable foundation even in turbulent times. But the impact of these Stoic principles isn't limited to your internal world. As you continue to practice and embody these teachings, you'll likely notice significant improvements in your relationships with others. The self-awareness cultivated through regular reflection allows you to communicate more clearly and authentically. You become more attuned to your own emotions and motivations, and by extension, more empathetic to those of others. Imagine approaching conversations with loved ones or colleagues from a place of genuine curiosity and understanding rather than defensiveness or ego. The Stoic emphasis on virtue and character over external validation frees you to engage more openly and honestly. You're no longer driven by the need to always be right or to protect a fragile self-image. Instead, you can focus on truly connecting, on understanding, and being understood. This shift in how you relate to others can lead to deeper, more meaningful relationships. You become a more reliable friend, a more effective leader, a more present partner or parent. Your interactions are grounded in wisdom and compassion, creating a ripple effect of positive change in your social circles and beyond. As you continue to integrate these Stoic principles into your life, you'll find yourself able to achieve things that might have seemed impossible before. Navigating challenges with confidence becomes second nature. Where once you might have been overwhelmed by a complex problem, you now have a toolkit of mental models and practices to approach it systematically and calmly. Perhaps most remarkably, you'll discover the ability to maintain inner peace even amidst external chaos. This doesn't mean you'll never feel stressed or upset, but you'll have developed the capacity to return to a state of equanimity more quickly, to find your center even when the world around you seems to be spinning out of control. One of the most beautiful aspects of this Stoic journey is that it becomes easier and more natural over time. As you continue to practice these concepts, they begin to integrate into your subconscious, shaping your thoughts and actions with less and less conscious effort. What once required deliberate focus, pausing before reacting, reflecting on your values, maintaining perspective in the face of setbacks, becomes habitual. This doesn't mean the journey becomes effortless. There will always be new challenges, new opportunities for growth. But you'll find that you can achieve greater outcomes with less internal struggle. Your responses to life's ups and downs become more aligned with your principles, more effective in moving you towards your goals. It's crucial to understand that Stoicism is not a destination to be reached, but a lifelong path to be walked. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This awareness of life's impermanence isn't meant to be morbid, but to inspire us to continually grow, to make the most of each moment we have. Embracing this ongoing nature of growth means celebrating small victories while always looking ahead to the next challenge. It means persevering through difficulties, knowing that each obstacle is an opportunity to put your principles into practice, to strengthen your character. Integrating Stoic principles into your daily life is key to making this philosophy a living, breathing part of who you are. This might involve setting up specific habits or routines, a morning reflection practice, an evening review of the day's events, regular reading of Stoic texts for inspiration and guidance. Over time, these practices become not just things you do, but integral parts of who you are. Finding a community of like-minded individuals can be incredibly supportive on this journey. While Stoicism is ultimately a personal practice, sharing insights, challenges, and successes with others can provide motivation and new perspectives. This might involve joining a local philosophy group, participating in online forums, or simply discussing these ideas with friends and family who show interest. As you look to the future, remember that Stoicism is a flexible, adaptable philosophy. The core principles remain constant, but how you apply them may evolve as you face new situations and challenges. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, forged in the crucible of imperial responsibility, can be just as relevant in navigating the complexities of modern life. Consider the legacy you want to leave. How might your journey with Stoicism impact not just your own life, but the lives of those around you? As you embody these principles more fully, you become a living example of their power, inspiring others through your actions and attitudes. As we conclude this book, I invite you to fully embrace the Stoic life. Remember that control lies in your responses, not in external events. Find joy and meaning in the effort itself, not just in outcomes. Cultivate inner calm as your superpower. Let go of ego to see more clearly. Keep your mortality in mind to live more fully. Align your actions with your deepest purpose, and always take time to reflect and grow. This journey you've embarked upon is nothing less than the journey of becoming your best self. It's a path of continuous growth, of deepening wisdom, of expanding impact. There will be challenges along the way, moments of doubt or difficulty. But armed with these timeless principles and your own growing strength, you are equipped to face whatever life brings with grace, courage, and purpose. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength, the strength of a mind aligned with wisdom, of a life lived with purpose and virtue, is now yours to cultivate and share with the world. Your journey continues. May it be rich with growth, filled with meaningful connections, and marked by a deep sense of fulfillment. The wisdom of the Stoics, timeless and powerful, is now a part of you. Carry it forward, let it shape your days and guide your choices. In doing so, you not only honor the legacy of great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, but you contribute to a wiser, more resilient world. The path stretches out before you, full of possibility. Step forward with confidence, knowing that you carry within you the tools to navigate whatever lies ahead. Your Stoic journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. However, as you apply these Stoic principles in your daily life, you may encounter situations that challenge your ability to think clearly and make wise decisions under pressure. How can you ensure that your newfound Stoic wisdom translates into practical, real-world problem-solving skills? The answer lies in mastering the art of critical thinking while maintaining your Stoic calm. To truly harness the power of Stoic philosophy in your life, I invite you to explore Stay Calm, Think Smart, the art of critical thinking in difficult situations. This essential guide will equip you with the tools to apply your Stoic wisdom effectively in any challenging situation. Tap the center of the video now to continue your transformation journey.